Good morning. Welcome to the Chari Torah Halacha review for Tuesday, December 22nd. The correct time for reciting Kiddush Levana is not before 7 days after the Molad. This is another handy-dandy use of when we announce the Molad in Shul. Before we make Birchas HaChodesh, the announcing of the new month, which takes place, which happens on Shabbos, right before Musaf, the Shabbos immediately before Rosh Chodesh. You notice that we are accustomed to let people know of the Molad, the reappearance of the moon in Jerusalem. It's calculated based on the movement of the moon relative to Israel. So we wait until 7 days after the Molad. That's the minig of the Chassidim and the Sfardim, but many Achronim say that you can say Kiddush Levana 3 days after the Molad, which is usually just a few days after Rosh Chodesh, and this in fact is the custom of Ashkenazim, according to the Bach, the Bayis Chadash, Aruch HaShulchan, Mishnah Berurah, Sha'ar Tzion, Bir Halacha, amongst others. So, if you're interested in saying it earlier rather than later, you certainly have ample ground to stand on. Some say you should wait 7 days during the summer months when it's not so cloudy, but say it immediately after 3 days during the winter months, because it's so cloudy you don't know when you'll have another chance to say Kiddush Levana. It's a special mitzvah to say Kiddush Levana, Motzei Shabbos, when you're wearing your big day Shabbat, your Shabbos clothing, and those who hold that the Kiddush Levana should be said on the third day should definitely say it on Motzei Shabbos. Those who have the custom to wait until the seventh day should also wait for Motzei Shabbos, as long as it's no more than 10 days since the Molad, since the reappearance. Otherwise, you can say it on the seventh day. There's a custom called Rabbeinu Tamzman. People take, rather than the time that we publish in the Shabbos bulletin, in the weekly bulletin, for the end of Shabbat, people wait a little bit longer. Rabbeinu Tam has an opinion that Shabbos should wait a little bit longer. You will hear in some circles of people who take the later Shabbos, exit the time. They have a little bit more Kedusha, a little more sanctity of Shabbos. They wait 72 minutes after. But it says, interestingly enough, that a person can say Kiddush Levana before that time. So they're still conducting themselves as if it's Shabbos. They haven't davened Ma'ariv, they haven't made Havdalah yet, but they are allowed to recite Kiddush Levana even if they haven't ended Shabbat for themselves. They can carry a siddur as long as there's an Eruv, or they can look into someone else's siddur if there's no Eruv. The latest time to say Kiddush Levana is 15 days from the Molad, so about halfway through the month. At that time, the moon already begins its wane. It starts getting smaller, so we don't say it then. Since Ma'ariv is said each night and Kiddush Levana once a month, Ma'ariv is the more frequently said thing, and we've said in many different contexts. If you have something frequent and less frequent, you do the more frequent one first. Ma'ariv precedes Kiddush Levana. If the moon, however, is visible and you're worried that it will become cloudy during Ma'ariv, you can run outside and say Kiddush Levana first. What about Friday night? What about Yom Tov? We do not recite Kiddush Levana on Friday night or on Yom Tov. However, if it's the last day you can say it, you're allowed to say it on those nights. There's a mitzvah to say Kiddush Levana with a tzibur because of Barov Am Hadras Melech. As it says in many different places, the glory of the king is with the multitude of the people. So we try to gather together a minyan for Megillah reading, for Kiddush Levana, for any davening, anything of communal interest. If it's not possible, however, as it is in our days, it's very difficult to find a minyan, even though you can gather 10 people outside for a religious event. You could say it alone. You're allowed to say this alone. Okay? So we will talk tomorrow about the order of saying it. Again, if you want to take a look about page 612 in the Siddur, you can familiarize yourself with it, and you'll know what we're talking about tomorrow. So have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.